This is Dr.RED Panda.
Did you know that Hitler's initial dream was to become a painter? So, how skilled was Hitler as an artist? What happened to the professor who rejected his admission back then? Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Red Panda, and in the upcoming video, let's focus on Hitler as an artist. Adolf Hitler, the aspiring artist. On September 18, 1931, the notorious Hitler brazenly initiated World War II, resulting in the deaths of tens of millions of people. However, Hitler had another identity. He was an artist. He produced numerous paintings, creating hundreds of works between 1908 and 1913, and made a living by selling postcards and paintings. Even after becoming the Führer, he still considered himself an artist. In his autobiography, Hitler mentioned that he aspired to become a professional artist from a young age, but his father was strongly opposed. His father, a customs officer, believed that a government job was stable and hoped his son would follow in his footsteps. However, Hitler was naturally rebellious, leading to a strained relationship between them. Hitler was often beaten by his father, while his mother encouraged him to continue painting. Later, his father forced him to attend the Royal School in Linz, a town in northern Austria not far from Hitler's hometown. In response, Hitler deliberately underperformed, excelling only in art, hoping his father would relent and allow him to pursue his dream. During this time, he taught himself some painting techniques. In 1903, after his father's death, Hitler, with his mother's permission, dropped out of school. Hitler's pursuit of dreams in Vienna. In 1907, Hitler left school and moved to the art capital of Vienna to pursue his artistic aspirations. He also applied for admission to the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts that same year. Before delving into his exam results, let's take a look at a few of Hitler's artworks. This painting depicts the Vienna Belvedere, a magnificent palace that attracts over 1 million visitors annually and holds UNESCO World Heritage status. This is Neuschwanstein Castle in Upper Bavaria. This castle is the inspiration for the design of Disney's logo, and it is also the model for many castles in fairy tales. This is the Munich City Hall, a neo-Gothic building most famous for its clock, the Glockenspiel, which reenacts the wedding of Duke William V in 1558. And this one is the Munich Court Brewery, built in 1589. It was originally the Royal Brewery and was not opened to the public until 1829. It was almost completely destroyed during World War II and was rebuilt in 1958. This is Michaelerplatz, a Baroque square located in Vienna. The building with the dome is the Burgtheater, the oldest theater in Europe. After looking at so many paintings by Hitler, let's not jump to the conclusion that he was exceptionally talented. It's evident that Hitler excelled in painting architecture and still life, especially those famous buildings and landmarks. The entrance exam for the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts consists of 2 stages. Prospective students must first showcase their works to demonstrate their creative abilities. Hitler confidently completed a painting on the spot in front of the judges. Afterwards, he returned to his rented room, drank plenty of beer. In fact, Hitler did drink and smoke, contrary to rumors that he didn't, and eagerly awaited his acceptance letter. However, the next day he received news of rejection. The judge's response was, "We regret to inform you that your paintings lack vitality. Clearly, you are not suited for painting." Despite failing the entrance exam with regret, he was not discouraged. He believed that success was impossible without failure, so he continued painting, hoping to pass the next assessment. In fact, when his paintings were reevaluated after the war, some well-known artists thought his work was quite good. At the very least, it proved he had real artistic talent, and if the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts had accepted him back then, history might have been rewritten. Of course, such hindsight is meaningless. History cannot be changed. While painting, he diligently studied architecture, attempting to apply to the architecture department of the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. He hoped to achieve his artistic goals through architecture but failed the entrance exam again. This second failure left him quite dejected. At the same time, he received news that his mother had developed malignant breast cancer. He returned to his hometown to see her. His mother passed away on December 21, 1908, which was undoubtedly a blow to Hitler. Facing the harsh reality, Hitler left home again to pursue his artistic dreams after his mother's funeral. This time, no one provided him with any financial assistance. In Vienna, Hitler lived frugally, and besides earning a meager income by sketching portraits on the street, he worked various jobs such as a doorman, porter, snow shoveler, painter, and newspaper distributor. For a long period, he was homeless, sleeping on park benches. After pawning his overcoat, he was penniless and had to seek refuge at the Meidling Men's Hostel, which provided shelter for the homeless. Recalling this unbearable period, Hitler choked up and said, "During that time, hunger was my faithful companion, inseparable and relentless. It was the most ruthless friend in my life, and I had to constantly fight against it. Many times, I was nearly defeated by it, but I ultimately overcame it." During his stay at the Meidling Hostel, he continued to draw portraits on the streets and sell his artwork. Due to the low prices of his paintings, he gained a modest audience. With this meager income, he no longer had to worry about starvation, which was his proudest memory from his time as a homeless man. Some of the paintings he sold during this period later became collectibles after the war, including a watercolor of Neuschwanstein Castle that he sold for a few marks, which was later auctioned for 100,000 euros. In this regard, Hitler met the qualifications of an artist. Perhaps this period of hardship strengthened his resolve. During this time, he personally sought out the director of the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts to ask why he was not considered suitable for the role of an artist. The director's response was, "You indeed do not seem like an artist. Perhaps you should pursue another profession." So, were the professors who rejected Hitler ever persecuted after he came to power? The professors who rejected Hitler were Christian Griepenkurl and Sigmund Lollmann, both artists. Hitler became Chancellor of Germany in 1933, but Griepenkurl and Lollmann passed away in 1916 and 1930, respectively. Furthermore, the Anschluss, the annexation of Austria into Nazi Germany, didn't occur until 1938, so it had nothing to do with the professors. Unless they were to be exhumed and desecrated, there was nothing to be done about them. Perhaps it was too embarrassing, so Hitler never mentioned the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts in any public appearances or writings. Hitler's art policy after seizing power. After coming to power, Hitler, who fancied himself an art connoisseur, sneered at several branches of modernist art. Modernism includes Cubism, Dadaism, Futurism, Impressionism, among others. He considered these movements to be degenerate art. The Führer not only confiscated their works but also suppressed these avant-garde artists. In 1937, the Nazis held the Degenerate Art Exhibition in Munich, mocking these artworks. The Führer found these pieces, with their distorted depictions of the human body, to be disgusting and not at all aligned with Aryan aesthetic standards. A prime example of modern art is Picasso, whose famous painting Guernica is highly abstract, depicting the carpet bombing during the Spanish Civil War. The painting, rendered in shades of gray, features figures with outstretched arms in agony, sorrowful women, and animals associated with Spain, such as bulls and horses, with the bull's tail emitting smoke. It is one of the most renowned anti-war paintings in history. This type of non-mainstream art, with its distorted human forms, was almost universally regarded as degenerate by the Nazis. Hitler preferred works in the styles of realism and classicism. He believed that the statues and paintings from ancient Greece and Rome, with their beautiful human forms and scenic landscapes, represented true art. When Adolf Hitler met with British Ambassador Henderson in 1939, he told him, "I am an artist, not a politician. If the Polish issue is resolved, I would like to spend the rest of my life as an artist." Many people interpreted Hitler's statement as a deliberate attempt to deceive countries like Britain and France. However, Ambassador Henderson believed that Hitler was not lying. From his enlistment in World War I to becoming the German Chancellor, Hitler never truly abandoned his passion for painting. Regardless of his artistic skills, Hitler indeed had a genuine pursuit of art. How good was Hitler at painting? Adolf Hitler created over 1,000 paintings throughout his life, most of which were destroyed or lost during World War II. Ironically, Hitler's paintings have become more valuable after his death. In a 2014 auction, one of his watercolor paintings sold for €130,000, and in 2015, a collection of 14 paintings fetched as much as $450,000. However, Hitler's artistic work is not highly regarded in the art world. The Vienna Academy of Fine Arts described his pieces as ordinary, with a lack of rhythm, color, feeling, or spiritual imagination, resembling more like architectural sketches. Experts note that Hitler's paintings mostly imitated and copied traditional artworks, primarily from 19th century artists and other masters, rather than being original creations. Despite this, Hitler was confident in his artwork, believing that the rejection from art school was a great loss to the world. The director of the Vienna Academy who rejected Hitler remained alive until 1945. Post-war, he expressed regret in interviews, feeling responsible for Hitler's actions. Yet, he emphasized that had Hitler been accepted, he would have likely remained a mediocre artist. Would the world have been better off with one more mediocre artist and one less war fanatic? And that's a wrap for this episode of the video. I'm DR.RED Panda. If any of you have your own perspectives, or if you think there are any errors in the video, feel free to leave a comment in the discussion section. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Until next time, take care.